5 days ago, I posted a video about whether the AirPods Pro 2 could replace my hearing aids. Since then, I've tested them using only the AirPods Pro 2 for my hearing aids. For those of you wanting me to cut to the chase and give you my review up front, let me just say I have a love-hate relationship with them. Well, not hate. It's more like a love-dislike relationship with them. In this video, I'll share my observations and give you all the details of what I love and what I dislike about the AirPods as hearing aids. Since posting that video, I've made a point to use the Apple AirPods Pro 2 as my primary hearing aids to better test the viability of using these full-time in place of actual hearing aids. Now, I'm retired, so I can't call it full-time in the same sense as if I were wearing them in a full-time job. I wore them at home most of the time, as well as when running errands, shopping, and during 2 gym sessions, as I described in the first video. And I hosted a dinner party with about 10 friends last Saturday, which created a noisy environment, giving me a chance to test how well the AirPods could cut through the noise to hear the person you're talking to. In this video, I share my experience in as much detail as I can and also try to answer some of the many questions in the comments in the last video. Of course, your mileage may vary. I'm 68 and I've never before used or tried AirPods. In general, I've never been crazy about having things in my ears. Over-ear hearing aids were okay because the only part in the ear was that thin tube and tips, but I've worn hearing aids for many years now. According to the test in the app, my hearing is moderate in both ears, which seems to match the progression of hearing loss that I've had in previous tests by audiologists. My hearing is bad enough that without hearing aids, I often have trouble following conversations in the same room. If you've had similar experiences, you know how challenging it can be on both sides. It can be very embarrassing to have to keep saying, what? Or perhaps you take the approach of just nodding your head as if you appreciate the conversation, only to be embarrassed when you can't answer a question. I've had that experience too. But it's also hard to admit to yourself and to others that you have hearing loss and get your first hearing aids. The AirPods may offer a way to put off the decision to get hearing aids or as backup for use in certain situations. Since this will be a somewhat long video, I've provided a chapter guide in the description below to help you directly get to the part that interests you. First, let's talk about requirements. To use the full hearing aid features of the Apple AirPods Pro 2, you'll need the AirPods, of course, and you'll also need the latest update of the operating system for your iPhone, which is at this time requires iOS 18.1. At the time that I made the initial video, Apple had not released that version, but as a techie of sorts, I knew that there was likely a beta release and I upgraded to that. Just now, while putting together my notes for this video, I Googled when it would be publicly available, and it just happened that it was released today, about an hour ago, so I immediately told my phone to install the latest version. I don't recommend that anyone install a beta release of software unless you're willing to gamble that it wouldn't cause any problems. I do recommend, however, that you install updates on your phone and your tablets and any computers that you use as soon as they're available. Typically, an update includes patches for the latest vulnerabilities on your device, making them safer to use and less vulnerable to hacks and scams. If you've been here on my channel for long, you'll see that I put a lot of emphasis on online safety. There are many scammers out there. You need to be protected. So if you haven't, please subscribe to this channel and watch the videos about the online dangers. I know it isn't fun to think about, so I also throw in a healthy amount of humor to hopefully brighten your mood a little bit. I see you're on Instagram. Might I recommend our rosé? It's quite popular among those who appreciate a good aesthetic. Oh, sure, that sounds fitting. To update your iPhone's iOS, go to the settings, the gear-shaped icon, go to General, and then select Software Update. It'll show you if there is an update available to you. Mine doesn't now because I just updated it, but keep it updated. There are some people who say they've been using the AirPods as hearing aids for some time. In reality, they haven't been using the hearing aid features that were recently approved by the Food and Drug Administration. They've just used the active listening features that allowed conversations through while using the AirPods for other things. I've also been asked if the hearing aid features will work with other models of AirPods or even the AirPods Max, which are over-the-ear headphones by Apple. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. The new functions rely on some specific software or hardware that's in the device to support that function. I would imagine that it will become available on some other devices as Apple releases new models of AirPods. Let's talk now about the audio quality of the Apple AirPods. This is probably the easiest to evaluate since the AirPods were developed as high-quality wireless earbuds. When used as hearing aids, they do a great job of enhancing the clarity of the speech, and the noise reduction helps to focus on the conversation in a noisy environment. In most environments, I found that the adaptive mode worked best at clarifying the conversation while eliminating unwanted background noise. But at the same time, I encountered a lot of trouble using them when I was congested. I have allergies that cause a lot of nasal congestion. When waves of congestion came over me, the AirPods went quickly from excellent to just earplugs blocking all hearing. This was very frustrating, of course. I haven't experienced that problem when using hearing aids. Since the AirPods completely block the ear canal, it's sort of like the uncomfortable feeling of wearing earplugs when climbing or descending on an airline flight. It's also a very uncomfortable feeling physically and adds to the stuffiness you normally feel. I haven't experienced that with either pair of my hearing aids since they're over the ear style and do not block the ear canal. As a result, I really can't advise using them as a sole hearing aid for someone like me with moderate or worse hearing loss, but they are great for me as an alternative when my nasal passages aren't stuffed up, or if your hearing isn't that bad but you just wanted a little help, they may be perfect as a way to delay getting the real hearing aids. For me, I love being able to put them in for certain settings where they excel. For example, I love being able to wear them and listen to music while I do work around the house or non-editing work for this channel. When editing, I'm using these over-the-air studio headphones to ensure that I'm getting the audio right. Recording with a microphone like this, the sound quality varies a lot based on your position in relation to the microphone. Just moving it off a little bit makes me sound more distant, or too close, I get too loud and bearing down on the mic. Comfort. Now, every person and every ear is different. I checked out the r/AirPods forum on Reddit to get an idea of how people have coped with the AirPods. As I mentioned, since the AirPods completely block the ear canal, they can cause some discomfort in some settings. It took me a while to find the right fit. For the first couple of hours, I actually had them in the wrong ear. Just looking at them out of the case without being familiar with the AirPods, it looked like they would fit better the other way. And yes, I knew that with my normal hearing aids, that the rightmost hearing aid is for my right ear and the leftmost is for my left ear. But I also know that Apple likes to set their own standards. So I really wasn't sure. Even when I got them in the right ear, it took a while to find the right fit. And the AirPod in my right ear frequently fell out. In fact, a viewer on the first video told me it looked like I wasn't wearing them right. So regarding the right AirPod falling out, I ended up putting a different size tip in that ear. I don't know how common that is, but after Googling it, I found that I'm not the only one with ear canals that are different sizes between the left and right ears. Now that I've taken the time to work on the fit, they feel much more comfortable. The modes. The AirPods Pro 2 have three main modes of use: transparency, adaptive, and noise control. Transparency mode allows all outside sound to enter and be a part of your experience. useful for times when you're concerned you might miss something, such as when you're driving, so you can hear all the traffic. Of course, I don't know whether or not it's even legal to wear the AirPods while driving. You may need to check your local laws about that. Noise control on the right-hand side cutouts all outside noise. This may even cut out the conversation you're trying to have, but it's great for times when you just want to enjoy your music or audiobook without any distraction. I found that the middle option, adaptive mode, to be the most helpful. It does a great job of combining just the things you need to hear, such as a conversation with an individual, while blocking other noise. Battery life of the AirPods seemed in line with what the documentation said. Depending on the environment I was in, I was getting from 5 to 7 hours of use before they needed to be charged. Fortunately, the AirPods are quick in charging. It took about an hour to go from 7 or 8% battery to fully charged. The carrying case also has a battery in it and will recharge the AirPods when you can't plug it into power. Based on a Google search, the case should fully charge the AirPods about 4 times and takes about an hour to be fully charged itself. For me, the battery life wasn't a problem since it's rare that my day is so full of activities that I can't take the AirPods out and let them charge while giving my ears a rest. A lot of my time is spent working on this channel, and I typically don't need the AirPods in for that. Bluetooth connectivity has always been excellent for me. When pairing them with my iPhone or iPad, all I had to do was open the case next to my device. A message then pops up on my iPhone or iPad showing that the AirPods are connected. The Bluetooth range seems fine also. I had no problem roaming about my 1,800 square foot house without my phone and still keep the signal. Let's talk about tinnitus. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Tinnitus. Will the AirPods Pro 2 help reduce or eliminate tinnitus? I want to be clear that I'm not an audiologist, so don't take my word on anything regarding your health or your hearing. Always consult with a trained professional if you have any questions following this. But I've had tinnitus for as long as I've had hearing aids, so I'm very interested in finding the answer also. Based on my researches, there doesn't appear to be a known cure for tinnitus, although some will make claims of curing it. There are several techniques that have been used to minimize tinnitus, including sound therapy, using an external noise to alter your perception or reaction to tinnitus. This can include white noise machines or specialized ear devices. This is actually a technique that Widex used in the first hearing aids I got back in 2013. On the top of the hearing aid was a button that could be switched between programs that had been set up by the audiologist for you. In my case, we discussed the tinnitus, so she set up a program that would play random soft sounds in the background. The theory, I believe, was to take your mind off the tinnitus. With the AirPods, even before they added the hearing aid option in Apple's iOS 18.1, there's been an option to play a quiet background noise, such as white noise, rain, etc. In the settings, it doesn't say anything about using the background sounds to help reduce tinnitus. They simply say that they're to mask unwanted background sounds. So, what background sounds are they talking about? I'm thinking this may have been a veiled way of saying tinnitus. I plan to try this when my tinnitus is most bothersome. Now, let me talk about how the AirPods performed in different situations. The AirPods are great for many environments and situations, but not all. I already mentioned the problem of using AirPods when congested. For me, that was a showstopper at the times when I was congested, as I've been lately due to allergies. I still forced myself to use them at times during the past 5 days, but they became uncomfortable, to say the least. But I can't say whether you'll have trouble with them when you're congested or not. Many people don't seem to have that problem. Some doctors have cautioned you to give your ears a break from AirPods regularly to avoid the buildup of wax and moisture in the air. Of course, the fact that you'll need to at least take them out every few hours to charge them kind of forces you to take breaks. For use when flying, I think they could be very helpful due to the noise suppression available in the AirPods Pro 2. In fact, I was very impressed with the noise suppression when going from transparent to adaptive to noise suppression. I haven't yet compared them to my Bose 700 over-ear active noise suppression headphones. I'll try to do a comparison soon. One potential problem is the congestion issue, but it may just mean that you'll need to briefly remove the AirPods when the plane is climbing or descending. But as long as you have the ability to remove the AirPods as needed to clear your ears, you should be fine. In rain or lightning storms, you probably should remove them as needed, but that tends to be the same for hearing aids or any electronic device you're using. The AirPods Pro 2 are dust and water resistant, which means that they should be fine with some moisture from sweat, as I found during my gym exercises. But if it's raining outside, I would take them out when going outdoors and certainly not use them for swimming. But I don't know if any hearing aids are safe in those settings either. Another situation issue, of course, is the fact that the AirPods are very visible. I have the advantage of long hair that will cover them up when my hair is down. Most people are used to seeing the AirPods mostly on people who are listening to music, not when carrying on a conversation. I know many people with hearing problems resist getting hearing aids due to stigma. Well, frankly, you may have to explain the AirPods at times to people who think you aren't listening to them. My personal recommendation: overall, I really like my AirPods, but they won't replace my hearing aids 100%. If you have moderate hearing as I do, or worse, I recommend you still have a pair of hearing aids to use along with the AirPods. That's what I plan to do. But the excellent audio qualities and noise reduction for me mean that I'll try to use these as much as possible. If you haven't yet decided if you're ready to get hearing aids, by all means, get the AirPods and try them first if you wish. At $200 for the AirPods Pro 2, you really can't beat that price. Or perhaps a pair of over-the-counter hearing aids that aren't too expensive. If you have mild hearing loss, I think the AirPods are a great option. You may be comfortable enough having conversations without the hearing aids that it won't be a major problem. If you haven't decided yet if you're ready to get hearing aids, by all means, get the AirPods and try them first if you wish. Or perhaps get a pair of over-the-counter hearing aids that aren't too expensive. If you have mild hearing loss, I think the AirPods are a great option. You may be comfortable enough having conversations without a hearing aid that it won't be a major problem if you need to give your AirPods a rest. I hope this has been helpful. I originally planned to offer more instruction on how to set up and use the AirPods Pro 2 for hearing aid use, but let me do that in a follow-up video. I know that many just wanted the review in this video, so probably best to leave that as a separate one. So I hope you've enjoyed this. As usual, please click on the like button. Likes are used by YouTube to predict who else might benefit from this video, and subscribe for more content like this. So what do you think? What additional information would you like? If you wish, I'm even happy to hold a live stream session so you can ask questions or have a discussion in more detail. Let me know in the comments below what you like, dislike, or would like more information about. Or perhaps there are other tech products you'd like me to review. I'll certainly be happy to do what I can. Thank you so much for being here.